Okay, it looks like we're live. Just give me a minute here to pull the screen into focus here. We got to display the screen that we're going to be working with. Let's see, right here, share. Okay, screen should be live on the page. Welcome to this conversation. This is sort of a new medium for us, so please bear with us. This is all happening within the Facebook page here, which is really cool. And it's happening via a Google Hangout. And I did this about a year ago, but I haven't touched it since. So if it's not working, please be patient. This video, we'll figure it out. You'll be able to skip around in this video. Just want to point a few things out. You can comment below. Right, there should be comments below. Here we go. Welcome, Claus. Welcome, Shauna. I see you guys there. Thank you for being on and for adding your comments. Now, just know you can see the little refresh button in the comments that we'll have to, I'll refresh and then I'll see your comments. So if there's a little delay there, it'll be between when I stop talking and I refresh and look at the comments. It's a little different than what we usually do with GoToWebinar. Claus, to answer your question, yes, we'll put this in the playlist. The recording will be live on this page instantly as well, which is one of the advantages to using a Google Hangout. So hopefully this is working for you guys, and if not, just start commenting and let me know if you don't see it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start presenting. I want to make sure that everything looks right here. And again, sorry for this delay in the beginning. This is a new medium. Let's get to the good stuff. Here we go. Up on the screen here, I have some slides. And the topic today was about dynamic retargeting specifically. But we're also going to talk a little bit about retargeting in general for anybody who might not be familiar with dynamic retargeting. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Into the slides here. I'm waiting, guys. The reason I'm pausing here a lot is I'm just sort of waiting to make sure that this recording starts playing on the Facebook page. I have it open in another window, and I want to be sure that you all can see this. Okay. Great, it's live. All right. I sincerely apologize for all that. We've got those technical hookups out of the way. This won't happen in the future. Now I can see that it's playing. Let's get going, guys. So what's retargeting? Let's go here. Retargeting is basically, it's when somebody visits your website, right, and then the ads follow your visitor all around the internet, calling them back. And you've probably noticed this stuff, right? You visit a website, and it just sort of seems to be everywhere. And one of the cool things about retargeting in general is that a lot of times you can end up buying stuff you might have forgotten about otherwise. I don't know if that's a great thing for you as a consumer because it means you're spending more money, but a lot of times you're getting reminded about ideas you might have had, things you did want that will make your life better, and then you're reminded and you go ahead and you go through with something that you might have forgotten about because you got distracted. You know, it's where we live in an age of distraction, phone calls, social media beeps, whatever. And one of those things, of course, that's relevant to our discussion today that people would be searching for online is houses. And we all know probably that buyers especially, and even people thinking about selling a house can be a little wishy-washy. They might want to one minute and not the other. And that there might be some advantage to keeping the idea front and center in somebody's head. So basically, retargeting in general is that. Your ads, after somebody visits your website, following people around, kind of reminding them, remarketing, retargeting to them, and it's good, powerful stuff. Now, dynamic retargeting goes one step further, one big step further. What it does is it takes the actual item or content from your website that the person was most interested in, and it shows that ad to people, so your retargeting is even more targeted. So taking a step back, you could show, hey, your logo for Remax Keller Williams with your picture, and that would be fine. You're reminding people you're a real estate agent, they're seeing your brand, and it's just a static image. Dynamic retargeting goes a little further, and might actually show them the house that they were most interested in, so that it really rings a bell. So on the screen here, I have an ad for a real estate company, an example, and this one happens to be showing on CNN.com. And if you're familiar with retargeting, you know that the idea is that your ads are going to show on popular websites. In this case, this example, it's showing in Google's display ad network, which happens to be placed on CNN from time to time, and other very large sites, as well as a bunch of little sites around the web. You know, Google has awesome reach, and here we can see on a very popular site, you could be there with your company logo with a house that somebody looked at yesterday, a week ago, that just basically says, hey, you know, remember, you were thinking about this house. The bottom part of the ad is the house, and the top part is the logo. Kind of skipping around the slides, but the idea here is that this would be the one house that the visitor viewed most. So somebody comes, they search 30 properties, you know the behavior, they look at a bunch real quick, 1, 2, 3, then they stop at 2 or 3, they call the husband or the wife over to the phone, hey, check this out, they save it, they come back again, and dynamic retargeting intelligence kind of, you know, knows that, hey, this is the image that people are keyed in on, let's follow them around with that image. So the house then follows the visitor around as a reminder that they might want to buy it. Okay, this drives, of course, more clicks back to your website, so there's a better chance that the person becomes a lead or a customer. And of course, there are other benefits too. Now, I'm going to stop here and see if there are any questions. That's kind of like the quick, you know, overview of what dynamic retargeting is. In a second here, I'm going to bring up a doc and just kind of address kind of what it's designed to do in terms of generating buyer and seller leads. But let me go to the screen here, just see if anybody has any questions, any comments here that I should be addressing. Let's see. Three more comments. Can somebody just say whether they can hear me and just post it in the comments here, or hit the refresh? And you know, some people are saying it's not working. You may need to refresh the page. Let's see. Another window. Hi all. You may need to refresh page. See video. Okay, so it's apparently working. My brother's chatting me. Again, guys, sorry for the technical difficulties. We just want to make sure we're doing this right. Full screen my slides and reduce the sidebar so that it's bigger. I'll do that. Future. Okay, let's keep going, okay? Sorry for the little breaks. Question, is dynamic retargeting used for generating buyer or seller leads? So I have here in this quick little doc, the answer is both. And let's talk about it a little bit here. We've kind of touched upon the fact that buyers, of course, are called back to the property they were interested in. So this is a good buyer lead generation tool in terms of taking somebody who originally came to your site, reminding them they wanted to buy, and keeping a property front and center. It also increases the chances that somebody's going to come back and engage with your site and you. I mean, you know, people have real estate websites, all websites have a relatively high bounce rate, where a lot of times, you know, as much as 99% of your traffic might not be taking an action. So anything that brings them back and increases the chances that they'll fall into one of your lead capture elements is good in terms of generating the lead in the first place, you know, or getting them to interact with you. And of course, by having your logo, your banners follow people around, this naturally makes people trust you more. And I have here, it says 33,000 micro touches. Obviously, you're a big deal because you're everywhere. And I'll touch upon that. We all know the 33 touch system. We've read Gary Keller's book. I think he wrote that back in 2004 or something. But you know, you take the 33 touch idea, consistent follow-up, and think of these little impressions, these little banner ads following people around as little micro impressions, micro touches. And after a while, people are going to really just start to think you're kind of trustworthy subconsciously, or that you're a big deal because obviously you've got money to be running your ads everywhere. You know, it feels, you know, like you're everywhere to people. even if some people know that you're probably retargeting them. You know, some people will be savvy enough to know, but just being everywhere, having your brand front and center is good. So think of it as 33,000 micro touches. Buyers are called back. They can engage with your lead capture elements. And when you do finally have an interaction or meet somebody in person, they're subconsciously going to trust you more. You've been positioned as somebody who's kind of in the marketplace a little more, even if you just started 2 weeks ago and they're one of only 5 people who are seeing your ads everywhere, right? They don't know that. Okay. Now switching to sellers. Okay. Sellers, of course, will appreciate that you're doing this for their property. So if you want to, you can make this a cornerstone of your, or just an extra page, little element of your pre-listing package or your presentation, and basically say, hey, we're going to be dynamically retargeting. If somebody lands on your property, oh, by the way, Mr. Seller, I'm probably going to drive traffic direct. You should be doing that anyway to your listing with a Facebook ad or something. But also, when the person leaves from looking at your property, there's a good chance it's going to follow them around. And the seller's going to take that and they're going to put it on their little bullet point list, right, of comparison on their comparison chart. And maybe when you're going head-to-head against somebody in your market, you have a better chance of closing the listing. You all know, any little competitive advantage is good. Plus, it's going to position you as somebody who's a technical marketer. It's going to sound really cool. Also, similar to the buyers with the 33,000 micro touches, this is going to give you more virtual signs in the ground. People who happen to come to your site and see a listing, especially if you're driving traffic from other sources, are then going to realize that, are going to see that you're kind of advertising everywhere, right? Just like the phenomenon where you're driving through a neighborhood and you see 8 signs from one company and maybe 2 or 1, from others. You get the sense that, well, that's the company I should list with, right? And this is old school brokerage kind of coming online in a modern era. Dynamic retargeting and retargeting in general can give you a way to seem to have more virtual signs in the ground. So that's the seller side. And then the third side is kind of the same thing, but just think about what this will look like to other agents who are coming to your site and might be thinking about joining you, both as a tool for keeping your brand in front of them, but also as just something you can offer if you start using dynamic retargeting, something you can offer to them as an add-on, as a service. Say, hey, you're going to have a subdomain on our site, and we happen to dynamically retarget for you. So it could be a good recruiting hook. Okay, so there's that real quick. Again, I'm going to go in here to the comments. We're going to get these technical. Okay, they're good. Now, some people are saying, good, they can hear me now. Again, guys, thank you for your patience. Thank you, Melanie, for letting me know it's working, and next time will be a lot smoother. So we just went through, for anybody who's just joining in or skipping around, we covered what dynamic retargeting, what retargeting is in general, and we covered that in real estate. There's a few reasons why this is good stuff for you. And one of the things I should have brought up was that you're taking, if you're already investing in traffic and you're doing all that hard work, the SEO, you're paying for Google pay-per-click, Facebook, and you're doing that stuff anyway, you may as well sort of cover your butt or get the insurance policy that is dynamic retargeting. Think of it as a way to maximize that initial investment by making sure that at least a certain percentage of those people are called back into your stuff. Alrighty, so that's that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a peek. Many of you, especially if you're part of the conversion community, may have seen little blips around the Facebook group or different emails we've sent about the platform we're using to do this called Exact Intent. Traditionally, retargeting itself isn't terribly technical to get done. You can follow the documentation with Google, and you can do this on your own. But the dynamic stuff can get really, really hairy. And what Exact Intent does is make setting up a dynamic retargeting campaign for your real estate business really, really simple. Where you can have the setup done in minutes, 5 minutes. And I think most of the people who have come in here and started haven't spent much more than that. Maybe a few extra minutes fiddling with their creatives if they want to. But this makes it really, really easy. So I'm going to give you guys a tour of this. I'm going to check in on the comments one more time. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Here. Ralph, thank you for your questions. Absolutely. As soon as we're done, I will go and make sure you're set up and send you an email. We just had a huge rush in the beginning of people coming in. So I probably, and I apologize for this, I probably set you up, we probably set you up and just didn't email you to let you know or missed you, but we did, unless you've heard from us, things should be working fine. But I'll check it out. Load 10 more comments. Yeah, future sessions, guys. I'll just put a little link up front, up top, so it's not confusing. Something that says, "Hey, refresh." But we're all experiencing these issues together. Let's get to the tour. Okay. So here on my screen, you should all be able to see the exact intent dashboard. And let's go ahead and just start at the dashboard. And what I'm looking at basically is an account that's been live a little while. It has kind of a fairly typical, even though it's getting better, click-through rate. And it's something I want to bring up right from the start. You guys aren't going to see amazing, amazing click-through rates. So if you're used to measuring cost per click, with your initial traffic, you need to look at this a little bit differently as sort of a, that you'll get the returns over time as your brand is seen more and more frequently. And I am early on, we're about 2 weeks into this, I am actually almost in every account seeing this click-through rate inch up as the days go by and as more impressions happen. So it kind of stands to reason. People see your advertisement 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. The chances that they're going to click through goes higher and higher. So I want to address that right now. I've been told that 0.2 is really good. So we're right where we should be on this specific account. And most accounts we're seeing this, so that's it. You're going to have a dashboard that shows you all the impressions you're getting. You're going to see the recent ad that was displayed. And I may need to refresh here. Usually it shows you the websites that you're on. I don't know if the guys are working on something here. Let me try this again. Usually right off to the side, I assume our team is working on something, that the team over Exec 10 are working on something. Usually you can see like CNN.com, whatever sites, a lot of them you would have never heard of, what it's showing on. And you can actually see the last ad that was shown. So in this case, it's got the agent's logo, a little fun, I bet the kitchen is awesome, find out if it's still available, and then the house right there. The creatives themselves, you have a lot of flexibility, but it's designed to be really, really easy. So you'll see here there's a gallery. There are a number of creatives for real estate, there's some generic ones, but basically all you need to do is just pick one of these and make it live, or you do have the option to upload your own customs. These seem to be working pretty well though and getting a nice click through. You'll see here where Walt actually uploaded a background image. See this stuff over here to the side where it says his name? This is what shows if the system did not find a specific house or an item for whatever reason. Maybe the person only visited a page with no image on your site, like a blog post or something. Then this would cover that scenario. And this is what his ads look like when there's not a house. Just picture a house here wherever you see his logo right now. The settings themselves, just make sure. These settings themselves are pretty easy. You're going to come in, put your name in. You're going to upload your logo, your default background. And there's one other feature that I want to point out that's actually been working surprisingly well, less well for Walt, but I've seen it work really good on other accounts so far, is the action bar. Let me just point that out. This adds in another layer of lead generation into your site. And this is what all this stuff is here. You see what it says, thinking about selling, see what your house is worth today. You can actually add one of these top bars. I'll go to a site so you can see it. And you see up top where it says, thinking about selling, see what your home is worth today. Click here. This will take you to anywhere you want. But in this case, we're redirecting to the seller valuation page. This could actually be configured as well to ask to do anything. It could say, get a free list of foreclosures, and then you can have people enter an email or a phone number and then redirect them to your foreclosure list, for example. And this is, we've been a little surprised to see how well this is working. A lot of people engage with that as a rule, and it's a pretty cool feature. It's just kind of a little extra. But that's it, guys. There's not that much more to it. I wish there was more. The final thing I'll mention is that setting it up is very easy. If you happen to be a conversion user, the exact intent team will actually just take the little piece of widget code and install it on your conversion account for you. Otherwise, if you're not with conversion, you can just take this, send it to your webmaster, or do it yourself right before the body tag, and you're good to go. And then your ads start. Usually, we're seeing, we had our normal launch issues early on. Some people took a little longer, but usually within 2 to 3 days, you'll see your ads live and stats tracking. You'll be good to go. So that's it. We don't need to spend a ton of time here. We're about 20 minutes in. That's a quick overview. I'm now going to go and address some questions. Sue, thank you for your comment about the screen being fuzzy. I know that sometimes Google Hangouts can be slow. It'll probably render the recording a lot better, and I will do better on my side next time around of making sure the screen is a lot bigger and the resolution is better. So thank you for hanging with us through these issues. Is this tool free to conversion? No, it's actually a separate traffic product. Kimberly, thank you for your question. And the reason is, this traffic itself does cost money. That Google needs this. The examples I'm showing you specifically are on Google's ad network. They need to be paid for the actual traffic. So, see, any other questions? Ralph's saying he thinks it's working. Yeah, you're really going to get excited about this, guys, a couple of weeks in, a couple of months in, even when people start saying, "Hey, I see your ads everywhere." That's going to be exciting, and you're also going to kind of see it in the traffic, and it is less of a sort of traditional direct response play where you can directly measure today. I spend X and I get X clicks. It is going to be the sort of thing where it requires a little more time, and you need to go a little bit on faith and also on a little documented evidence. If you search around the web, you'll hear, just look into it, that retargeting just does work in general. And we put a nice little twist on it here with the dynamic part. So, see any other questions? Nope. Well, I'm going to hang out a little bit longer and let people ask any questions they might have in the panel here. How does this, great question, Jenny. How does the system determine which leads to retarget to? It retargets to all your site traffic currently. I don't know if the guys plan on adding some tags or filters that would let you maybe put identifiers in it with disqualified traffic, but it's going to be everybody who comes in. Okay, and I don't think that's horrible in real estate because everybody who comes to your site, and even if they bought a house last week, those are still potential referral sources. And the fact that you're front and center here and there, out of the corner of their eye, isn't necessarily a bad thing. I do think, and I'll find out the answer, maybe I'll post it in the comment thread here, I do think the cookies probably expire, but I should know this, I don't know when. Meaning, I don't think you're going to follow the same person around for the next 5 years and be paying for those impressions. It probably expires in 30 to 180 days, somewhere in that range, but I don't know the exact answer to that right now. If Justin, if you're listening, or anybody else, please do let us know. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, good question. Price. I'm so horrible at doing pitches. I'd rather be doing education. But let me put on the salesman's hat here. It's $49 a month for the platform, and then it is you pick it's 1 penny an impression. So you'll go in and you'll pick the plan that suits you the most. So you're not going to have like a runaway campaign. I'd recommend almost anybody here in real estate. You probably don't have mind-blowing traffic. You might. That you're probably just going to start at the lowest level, and then see how it goes the first month, and then scale up if you need to. To give you an idea, this account's been live about a month, about a week. Walt has normal traffic, so he's had 1,200 impressions. He's probably going to just hit, that 4,900 impression level for July. So he's right in a good spot there with that budget. So you're looking at about 100 a month, guys, and that's about it. I don't, so say 100 a month. Spend 1,200 this year. Do you think that that having everybody who visits your website continue to see your ads, follow them around, for the next 12 months? Do you think that could lead to another transaction or two? Do you think this will help you close an extra listing when you're going head to head with somebody? these are the things that I would use if I was making the decision to buy as the justification. And I think the answer is yes, probably. Obviously, I believe in the product, and I'm biased. I'm part of the team here, but I think just, especially in real estate, keeping your brand properties front and center is going to lead to good things. Yeah, Jenny, you're asking good questions. Does it include those that are categorized as unsubscribed leads, class clients? Yes, it will. That's just the nature of the system. It deals with the traffic on your site. Lance, hey man, how are you? Can it take a Facebook pixel? Not today. It's already under development. Sometime soon. We can't give an exact date, but this will include Facebook retargeting shortly, within a few months. Right now, we're dealing strictly with Google's ad network, but the Facebook stuff is already being built and is pretty far along, from what I understand. Lance, can you see I'm using, Lance is a big user, if you see him in the comment screen, of 22 Social, right? You see, I'm excited to be using 22 Social again today in this platform. I want to give a little bit of a shout out to them. I think this is pretty cool stuff. If you guys want to check that out, there's probably a link below. Also, I'm almost forgetting, Justin's going to kill me here, but we launched the client app today. So other news down here, down below, you'll see the client app is actually available now both in Android and iPhone. And let me go to that, clientapp.com. This is totally free. I played around with it a little on my phone. I wish I had it 10 years ago when my life was a mess because I was selling real estate full time. But it seems like a great tool. I mean, it is a great tool for client management, having everything happen straight within your phone, and it's free. So you might as well just go grab it and check that out. A little plug, go get the client app. It does, you can configure lead plans, like, how you want to follow up based on certain days. The app will prompt you to do your follow-up from day to day, send you reminders, all kinds of good stuff there. And if anybody here is curious about conversion, you got a little conversion demo link down below. And the final thing that I'll ask you to do, just to be nice, if you don't mind, if you have any colleagues who you think this info or just this series of trainings, these conversations would be helpful to, please do go ahead and use the social links up top that you see above this video or maybe below, and go ahead and send it by email, like it, share it. We really, really appreciate that. Just hit the share button, of course, and help us spread the word, especially if you have colleagues on your team who, if you're all making money together, it would be good for them to see this info. Could serve you at the end of the day as well. Good question, Cliff. He's asking which image is the coffee image working best for real estate? It's working just as good. I wish I could. I don't want to kind of, show you guys accounts for other clients. I don't know if everybody wants to be public about the fact they're using this, but I've seen these numbers pretty consistent across the three creatives. We'll have better data soon. I personally kind of just like the message behind the coffee one with the I bet the kitchen is awesome. The one with the boy is cute, is this my new house? That might be cool, but we're seeing the numbers about the same. I think Justin and I were talking, we're gonna play around with a bunch more creatives. We both kind of suspect that actually what might be best here is if the whole darn image was the property with almost no text and just your logo, for the branding part, and that the real appeal here is that they're seeing something that's very familiar to them. But guys, in the coming months, we'll definitely share with you which creatives are working best, and we are going to consistently try to beat the great creatives we have. That makes the system better. So if we can come up with better ads, better stuff that gets better click-through, you're always going to have access to that. It's going to be added as part of the system. Which, again, is where you're going to get a lot of value here. If you went out and you launched your own retargeting campaigns or dynamic retargeting, you'd be on your own, with that kind of stuff. And you're going to benefit from a community of people here in real estate using this. And then, you'll know, and we'll be telling you which ones convert the best. Ideally, of course, my vision would be that as you hover over a creative, it kind of tells you this, in order, which ones convert the best. And it'll help you out a lot. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, great, guys. So if you weren't on live right now and you're kind of watching the replay here, don't worry. You can add your comments below. I'm going to check in. We'll answer everybody from day to day. You will get a response. You know, if you have any questions about exact intent, you can go over to that site, exactintent.com. You know, ask any questions you might have. Be happy to answer those quick. And in terms of moving forward with these conversations, they'll happen probably at least once, but maybe a few times a week, probably around this time, and we'll send you an email to let you know. You'll have access to all the recordings as usual. And that's about it. We're going to vary up the content. We're going to keep it geeky and fun. If you need the basics of using conversion, that's going to be, you know, there's more coming along there. We have a new training coordinator. Welcome to Annalisa. And she's going to be adding some really good content there and more stuff to the calendar for you guys to attend to get basics of using conversion. So thanks for plugging in. And I guess we'll see everybody soon. I'll turn off the Hangout now and then stay on the page a little while to answer any questions.